might as well just start now. Evening, everybody, and welcome, travellers, to session 2 of The Music of Silence, our D&D 5th edition one-shot. My first attempt at dungeon mastering under the scrutiny of some more seasoned players, Daniel and long-time game master, dungeon master, Ben Fee. We also have Peter Ray Allison and Mark Canty with us. Sorry, guys, I should have done it in a more sort of organized way. Let's start that again, okay? Shall we? So tonight, our adventures are we've got Daniel Delargy as Kijo or Jesse or Gessie.
Yep.
he's our rogue. We've got Ben Fee as Tharad Steelguard.
Hello.
We also have Peter Ray Allison as I can't even read what it says here.
Athesta Temple.
Athesta Temple. It's not like I made the names up or anything. Athesta Temple.
How you doing, guys?
And finally, we have Mark Canty as our bard, Denarian Leobella.
Hello.
Right. So, gentlemen, you will have spent a long time reading through the rundown that I sent you after the last session. So, do you need me to recap on anything, or are you good to go?
Well, could you recap for our loving audience?
Yeah. Okay. So, what's happened is you basically started off in a bar. You've been talking to we'll do it chronologically. We'll not do it the way we did it in the game. Chronologically, you're 4 soldiers. You've come from you were basically a part of a very long, protracted war against a force called the Corruption that comes from the southeast of a land called Freya. You have seen a lot of horrible things. A lot of friends have died. You fought very hard, and you've been rotated back to your local sort of fortification, which is called the Bastion of the Morningstar. And instead of sitting on your laurels and just resting, you've decided to take it upon yourselves to do some patrols in the area to stop any raiding and disruption of lines of communication to the front. Within this, you have stumbled across what is effectively a deserters camp full of ex-soldiers from the front who have turned rogue, turned coat, and decided that they don't want to do anything to do with it and are fighting for themselves. Now, you have made your way through effectively a regiment, not even a regiment, a battalion of soldiers. You've killed many of them. You've become gravely wounded yourselves, but because of your moniker, you're fortunate. The fortunate 6. You have managed to get through alive. You find healing potions on the ground. People were just randomly dying at the mere look at them. You find certain people had sort of like arrows sort of sticking out of them that, some of you pretty sure you didn't kill, but, you're kind of unsure on what's going on. You also managed to get to the end of... you got to the sort of command tent, as it were, a command tent. And within this command tent... Oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot about the guy you beheaded. Sorry. Yeah. So
we kept our word and all let him...
Yeah, sorry.
I promised I wouldn't hurt him.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about I forgot about Private Jones. You basically saw the bandit leader, a knight, sort of going off in the distance. You tried to stop him, but you managed to kill a horse or injure badly a horse, throwing off one of his retinue. He falls off his horse, and then you basically question him to which he provides you with a map, and the map shows you that you should be going to a town called Waterside. Now, you go to Waterside, and you know the way we did it was the battle was in fact a flashback, and you're talking to the bar lady about the everything you've done. You're talking about what's going on. Then she gets a bit worried and asks to see the map. She asks you to see the map. You are a bit iffy about giving her map. She snatches it off you and then starts to get really upset because the map doesn't show anything relating to Waterside. It's in fact completely in the opposite direction, in the north east of the map, behind where your Bastion is. So 3 or 4 days ride. And you've gone around and you've tried to find out who's in charge of the town, and nobody can seem to give you an answer on who is in charge of the town that you're in. We ended off the session with, after the bar lady took herself off, and the innkeeper basically said, "Look, apologise to her in the morning. Everything's fine. You can stay here if you want." I think Daniel, you went off and you started talking. You didn't talk to anybody. You started eavesdropping with some of the guards, and overheard a mention of a crazy guy who was talking broken biscuits. They were all laughing about it, and you did hear mention of bandits in the area. And then Ben takes himself off into the entertainment room, has a few drinks, and gets introduced to Periwinkle, the gnome bard, local rock star of Belmore, and proceeds to get intoxicated with him. And that's pretty much where he ended it. I think Daniel comes into the room and carries on drinking as well. So that's where we ended up. So we're in the bar. Pete and Mark, you guys have gone to bed, and Ben and Daniel are drunk in the entertainment room, and that's pretty much where we're going from there. Any questions before we carry on?
No, good for me.
I'm good.
No. Okay.
Good.
So you've had this is going to be the next morning now. So Ben and Daniel, your characters sort of wake up downstairs in the entertainment room. Downstairs in the entertainment room. You're both very, very, very fragile. The ale is pretty strong in there, and it seemed that just because he's a gnome bard doesn't mean the man can't drink. So Periwinkle had kept you entertained for most of the evening. He is currently in the corner of the room, in a pile of his own vomit, and snoring. You sort of see in your sort of haze, in your sort of like your hungover sort of state, you see a sort of the innkeeper sort of rushing around a bit, looking at you strangely, but panicking because he's got breakfast to serve. He's got customers and things. He's running around like a headless chicken trying to get things sorted. And that's where you guys start. As for Pete and Mark, you went to bed relatively early. You wake up. Pete, you've had a slightly strange dream. You sort of it's one of those ones that it's super vivid. It's a vivid dream, but when you start talking about it, it just starts to slip away in your fingers, if you understand what I mean. It's like, you know in your mind that you could describe it, but for some reason it just starts to dissipate, and you find it very hard to sort of understand what's going on. What you sort of get is you get this something about a guy called Tral going on watch, and that he's heard something and he wants to go downstairs. You hear a scream, and that's about it. You sort of like you're sort of piecing together the dream, but you're not 100% sure what it is. You just know there's a guy called Tral. He was on watch, and you heard a scream. Not you heard a scream. There's mention of a scream.
Yeah, there was a scream.
There was a scream. And Ben, you just sort of wake up. Not Ben. Daniel. No, Mark. Sorry, you just wake up. Bright and breezy. You went to bed earlier than everybody else. You're pretty happy. Ready for some breakfast. So that's where everybody's positions are. Now I'm going to start with Mark and Pete. Okay, so you wake up, gentlemen. What is it you want to do?
Okay. Well, usual ablutions, like get up, get dressed, washed, and all that, and basically pick up my spell books and kit, and then head downstairs for breakfast. And while they're ordering breakfast from the innkeeper, I casually ask, "Have you had a trowel by any chance?"
Yeah. Okay, so well, this is what you want to do. I think I've got to do some stuff within the room itself. So, so you're getting up and ready to go to breakfast. Mark, what about yourself? Are you doing the same?
Similarly, I'll get up, have a quick rinse of everything, and scrub down.
Yep.
And make myself vaguely decent.
Okay.
But in polite company.
Right. Okay. I want you to both roll me perception, please.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Yep. You've definitely perceived what's going on. You both notice, obviously, your rest in the evening has brought you up, and you're very sort of aware of what's going on. Good night's sleep, and you notice that in a bed of three, in a bedroom there's 3 beds in. Basically, you were given 2 rooms for the night before. Obviously, the 2 downstairs didn't use the rooms because they were drunk. But there's a bed. There's 3 beds in your room. The 3rd bed's unmade, and there's a bag in the corner of the room which isn't yours.
Okay. Does the bag look like one of the Fortunate Fives, as in the type of kit that we would use?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it's a familiar looking bag. It's army issue. It looks similar. Yes.
Okay, Mark, do you fancy opening it?
Ooh, you watch the door. I'll watch the bag.
I'll watch the door. You watch the bag. You open the bag. I'm in the other side of the room.
Right. I shall be the substitute rogue then, seeing as he's downstairs lying in his own puke.
I'm fine. I came into the party late. I sort of made away with a headache.
Yes.
It was just con save.
Okay, so you're opening the bag then. So you have a look through the bag, and you notice sort of a few things. There's a little portrait of a woman and a child. You notice some papers, a few little bits of gold, some supplies. You also notice a diary, which is a bit worse for the wears. It's sort of like, the papers are slightly torn. There's a bit of blood on it. And you notice some orders come from with the Morningstar orders print on them.
Okay, I'm just going to have a quick look at the orders.
Okay.
Roll a dex save.
Okay, so the orders. Okay, so this is my handwriting, so I apologize if I can't read my own handwriting here. Orders. Commanding Officer, Guard Captain M.T. Girk, Knights of the Morning Star. Lieutenant Kazar Tral, take at the remainder of F section to supply routes of the Bellamore front near Waterside Beacon. I can't even read what I've said there. Eradicating any banditry in the area, securing supply lines, and helping local militia to fight off potential attacks.
Okay, so I'm messing around with the lieutenant's bag then.
Yes, so you've got a lieutenant. He's called Lieutenant Kazar Tral.
No problem. So I'm going to put everything
okay.
back as close to how I found it as possible, and try and look innocent.
I have a look through the diary.
Right, and the diary. Okay, so the diary, like I said, is slightly, it's slightly ripped, so you can't read the whole entire thing. But there are sort of the most recent entries are readable. So you've got 4th day of Summertide, 1489. Return from the front. The corruption is an insidious foe. My platoon has suffered grave losses, both for manpower and mental constitution. I am unsure if the rest will save. The deep wounds inflicted upon them. 10th of May, Summertide, 1489. The men are doing well. More so, Sergeant Fall losing his brother to the traitor Byron has been a tough blow to him. I think I'm going to request a mission from Guard Captain Girk to keep their minds off things. 15th of Summertide, 1489. Nearly ambushed by bandits north of Waterside Beacon. Sergeant Farr scouting ahead and found one of the traitors pissing in a corner. Luckily for us, he was able to kill him to alert us of their presence. After a hard fight, where many wounds were taken, we overcame. Sorry, I can't. My handwriting is horrible. I should have typed this out. The rest ran. We captured one of them, and he told us that the leader was the renegade Captain Byron, and he was off to Waterside to use it as a base of attack. 16th of Summertide, 1489. Sergeant Farr has gone AWOL. I think he has gone to Waterside to confront Byron. I'm taking the men to Waterside to try and stop him before he gets himself killed. And then we've got a final entry. Evening of the 16th. Have arrived in the town quite late, and so stopped at the Central Inn, the Pig and Harp. May have upset the bar lady. The strange thing is, the map we found pointing towards the town is blank and points to another area. Something weird is going on. Evening of the 16th. Have heard a scream. I'm going to investigate. We'll report back shortly.
Oh, okay. Does what's described in the diary tally up in terms of date-wise what's happened to us?
Yes, it's, as far as you're aware, it's effectively it seems
like,
to be running parallel to what you're doing.
Have we slipped dimensions? Okay, all right.
Or there's just something very freaky going on.
Understatement. Okay. Arcana. My knowledge of the mystic arts and what weird shit does this come under?
What is it you're trying to?
Basically,
are you trying to figure out if there's any magic happening around you?
Magic happening, as this, according to my research in the past about magic and mystic arts, does this tally up with any of our previous experiences that have been recorded?
As far as you're aware, no. There's, you can't think of anything similar in your sort of in the time that you spent in the Mages College. You can't think of any similar instances where something like this has happened. You think to yourself, I guess this could be a dimensional shift, but you're not sensing any You're not sensing any magic.
Okay.
Arcana magic, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm going to nip downstairs. I think let's have a chat with the barman, see if he knows anything of this lieutenant, and see what response we get.
Okay, Mark, are you?
Actually, is there anything else? Actually, is there anything else in the back? Because you mentioned there was a frame.
Yeah, we've basically got a picture, and it just shows. It's like a painting of a lady and a little boy. Or you assume it's a little boy, but it's a child, so very young child. Just some little personal effects. There's like there's nothing else really in there of any major note. A bit of coin,
Okay.
Some you find some bits and pieces that sort of have his signature and stuff on them, but other than that, nothing of any important.
Before we go, I'm going to move the bag somewhere else out of sight, just in case.
Okay.
So if someone wants to make it disappear, they'll have to work for it.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think. Oh, one more thing. We've got both maps, haven't we?
Yes, you've got the map that you got from Byron's tent, and you have the map that Jones gave you.
From Jones. Does it like the indication that the next target town is shifted? Does it have the same style of writing or the indicator?
As in, are you saying, is the writing within the diary the same as it was in on the maps? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was actually wondering, like, how similar are the maps? I mean, is the annotation on the maps the same?
Now that you mention it, though.
I don't understand.
And actually, now that you mention it, I'm actually looking to the typography of the diary as well, and compare that to the maps.
He wants to
Okay.
compare the handwriting. To see
Do
if
you,
the
Yes.
text works all three.
who has the map?
I have the
So that'll have to wait till we get downstairs. Then.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
then.
you're going to have to either bring the bag with you, leave it, or bring them upstairs, but you're more than welcome. You can do whatever you need to.
Take the bag with us.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you just go downstairs. You see a similar sort of scene as your two sort of hungover comrades. The barman is running around like a headless chicken. It's not super busy like the night before, but it seems like he's more busy than he's ever been in his life. He's very sort of like worked up, and he looks slightly confused, but he's sort of trying to hand out breakfast, and he's running back into the kitchen to get stuff, and he's coming back out again. He's very busy. Where you come downstairs, you don't see your other two comrades because they're in the music room. Do you want to go into the music room? Want to stay here and talk to the
A quick chat with the barman, just like thank him for these hospitality, and apologise again for his wife, and also, oh, by the way, have you seen the lieutenant? By the way.
Okay, we'll quickly go over to Ben and Daniel. Do you want to do anything in the music room before you leave? What do you want to do, actually? What do you want to do at this moment in time? You woke up, you're hungover, Periwinkle's unconscious in the corner. What's next?
First of all, I imagine. Oh, sorry. Just check on my CO. You're all right.
Hey, never been better. Yourself?
It has been an interesting night, gentlemen.
Chin up, soldier. Get up on your feet.
Yeah.
What was that? What was like the third cup?
Periwinkle sort of kind of rolls over slightly and lets out a big fart.
Well, he's not dead.
So what do you want to do? There are a couple of people in there, sort of, the serving wench from the night before is trying to clean up around the gnome bard, who's sort of drooling sick and such. She obviously knows him. He's obviously used to him being like this. What do you
Can I
want to do?
give her some coin and apologise for the mess?
Yep. Oh.
Got a wee bit of road last night. There you go.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Yes.
And this is the wife, correct?
No, this isn't the wife. This is just one of the serving girls.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And then head back into the main area, I suppose.
Okay,
We better
so you
find
go.
our team.
You go into the next room, and you see your comrades are just coming downstairs. Have you just set fire to something, Pete?
No, actually, I wanted to quickly read a spell.
Aaron, fireball.
And then you fireball and you fail and you set fire to your fingers. Okay. You go in and you see your comrades. They're coming downstairs. They're looking a lot sort of better, clean shaven. They've had a wash. You guys smell like stale ale, vomit, and smoke.
I smell like a dwarf.
Yeah,
I'm
you
good.
smell like a dwarf. Like I said, the barman's
smell like a
the innkeeper's running around like a blue arse fly, trying to sort things. What's next? What do you want to do?
Gentlemen, good evening.
Something greasy. Just order something, anything. I just put up a finger and just walk over to the bar and say, "Food, please."
The innkeeper sort of says, "Gentlemen, I'll be right with you. I'll be right with you. I'll be right with you. Take a seat." And so he goes off running around trying to.
Shaky thumbs up before I slide into.
Yeah.
I'll try and help Kijo. Now, see what you need some more ale, and you add some vinegar to it, and then you add some more, some onions chopped up fine, mix them up, take it back in one, you'll be
He is
fine.
not a dwarf. His constitution is not the same as yours.
Shall we just pick him up and carry him over somewhere inconspicuous, like
I'm fine. I can walk. I just need something
to hang on
solid.
to?
Solid.
To hold on to while he walks?
The barman sort of, not the barman, the innkeeper, he comes over. He's a gentleman. I see you two had a good evening. I hope we're not going to have any more of the shenanigans from last night.
No.
Our apologies for any offence that may have been caused.
And also, is your wife around this morning? We'd like to apologise to her as well.
He looks at you and he's like, I don't have a wife. What are you talking about?
I must have been mistaken. Sorry for the problem.
Insight. I'd like to.
Yeah. You want to roll insight?
Yes.
Okay.
Just immediate. Oh God, it's -1.
Yeah, you haven't got a clue. You're literally he doesn't have a wife as far as you're concerned. He doesn't.
I'm
I want a quick look at the maps.
I'm squinting at the innkeeper while someone's looking clueless.
I'm too hungover. It's just...
Mark, you look at him, and when you asked the question, when Ben sort of said, apologize to your wife, you saw something like tick over in his head. It wasn't sort of like it was just a momentary sort of like confusion. But he pretty much answers straight away. Well, I don't have a wife. I just run this place on my own.
Yeah, things are getting very twisted around here.
May I have a look at the maps, please?
We need a conversation, us four.
Yes.
Yeah.
First, I will need to have a look at the maps.
Okay.
Just a random thing. Can you hear the music, by the way? Is it still playing?
I can't.
Not
No.
to me.
No. How annoying. Okay, sorry. Carry on your thing, and I'll keep on. I'll do this thing.
I want to look at the
Speaking,
maps.
this is where you're supposed to say there was no music. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there is music meant to be playing.
While the wizard is looking at the maps, then can Kijo and Danial and I discuss things?
Yes, you can indeed.
So,
Okay.
guys, we have a problem. When we
What's
woke
that?
So there was a third bag in the room when we woke up this morning.
Oh, is that the one you're holding in your hands right now?
Well,
Yes.
no, because I hid it.
No,
Remember in the
because
room.
I brought it down.
Oh, okay. There's
I
no
don't
point in
check.
hiding it then. But yeah, so basically, So this seems to belong to a lieutenant who had a
Charles.
very similar experience to us. And when he got here, his map had changed, and his diary says he heard a scream, went to investigate, and there was no one there last night. But his map jumped and changed subject the same as ours did, after he had run into another group of deserters and across our least favourite captain.
What was his name?
Kazar.
Sorry, before you start, the barman, sort of like the innkeeper, just standing there, obviously, kind of going, "Do you want to order it? You know, I know you're the famous four and everything, but the fortunate four, but
Your all-day breakfast, please.
okay, for
And
all
he'll
day
take
breakfast,
5 breakfasts,
5 breakfasts. Okay,
and whatever they want as well.
Yeah. Okay. So he totters off and to get breakfast for it.
Yeah,
Sorry. So when did this happen?
Does Trowel sound familiar?
Are you asking me or are you asking each other?
Yes. I'm
You can roll on it, I guess.
what would that be?
What would that be? It's not. Is it perception?
It might be history if it's more sort of like because he is part of the military.
Yeah. Okay.
Like going along through memory lane to remember if there was such a person.
Pete, Ben,
no.
Dan, and Mark.
Ooh.
All right, brilliant.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, yeah, you've never heard of Lieutenant Trell.
Okay.
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 Sorry, just about when did this happen? This trial fella.
His
When did it say it
experiences seem to have occurred parallel to ours.
What does that mean?
Side by
About the same
side.
sort of time. So
Like-
he got just ahead of us. But
I wouldn't
when
even say ahead of us. It happened literally at the same time we experienced what Trell did.
Okay.
So he was here at the same time we were.
As far as we can tell.
According to
this-
his perception, yes.
In the same room that you were in,
Yes.
According to
you
his
did-
perceptions, yes.
and you didn't see him.
We also didn't hear the woman screaming. He reports going to look into.
But I did dream something like this happening.
What do you mean?
I-
What did you dream?
Someone called Trell who was on lookout, and there was a scream, or was there a scream and then a lookout, or
Yeah, the dream's very vague for you now. You're literally
it's,
you can remember Trell,
no,
you can
it's-
remember a scream, and you can remember sort of being on lookout, and that's it.
or
Do
was
you mind
it?
Can I read the diary? Do you mind if I have a look?
Yep, you can read the diary.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I was
Can I-
told, is the typography similar between the two maps and the diary?
Who wants to roll on it? I don't know if who's again. I guess that'll be. I don't know. What sort of check will that be? Checking writing,
Investigation.
investigation. Yeah, right.
Probably, yeah.
Roll investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at it, and they're completely different. They're the handwriting from the diary is very sort of. It's battle script. It's very, it's done in a certain, it's very crass and very sort of like, it's quite squiggly. Whereas it's got a similar sort of feel about it, as in you can tell that they're both types of battle script on them, but they're different handwriting.
Both soldiers, but different, probably.
Yeah, probably both soldiers, but different.
Just a question: is the writing on the maps themselves the same, or are they different in some way?
The map are effectively carbon copies of each other, maybe slightly off, but it's effectively the same thing.
Okay.
So there's two things I want to do. First of all, I kind of give myself a little slap. Just reach in and take out the looking glass that I got from the office and just kind of peer over the shoulder of the two people investigating the map and just have a look at the map.
It's not a looking glass. It's a looking glass is a mirror. It's a mirror.
Okay,
mirror. Yeah.
I want to hold the mirror up to it and see if there's anything different in the reflection.
So you're literally you're looking at the mirror, looking at the map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, there's, you can't see any different. You're literally just seeing a reflection. You're just looking at a reflection of the map.
And checking the diary.
So you're just you're looking at, so you're doing it with the diary as well.
Yeah,
Again, you're sort of, you're looking at just a mirror reflection of the diary.
All right. Okay, last thing I want to try.
Sorry, go on.
Are you putting the map? Are you
last
putting
thing I
the
wanna try is
looking glass
hold up the
away?
mirror.
Are you looking at the looking glass?
Yeah. So, sorry, are the looking glass and ornate mirror two different things?
A looking glass is a mirror, isn't it? Unless I've got it completely
Yes.
wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
That's right, yeah.
It's the same thing. A
Yes.
looking glass is a mirror.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the same thing.
Then yeah, what I want to do is just breathe on it, just to get a fog on it to see if that brings up anything that's been.
How are you
Written on
holding?
books.
How are you holding this mirror?
I honestly don't know how big a looking glass is.
So it's like a hand. It's
just-
basically like, look at it like a hand. It's like a hand mirror. It's quite ornate. It's probably about
I'd say with
12. It's probably about sort of like 12 inches long by 6 inches wide. It's not a huge mirror.
So has it got a handle built in, or is
It's got a hand. It's got a handle built in. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
Okay.
gilded,
Yeah,
ornate.
'cause
It's very
I-
nice looking.
okay, so I'm holding it by the handle, presumably.
Yeah. And you're looking at it and breathing on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to roll perception for me, please?
Did that go through? No, that didn't. Hold on a minute.
Nope.
So that's perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at the mirror, and you're sort of like, really scrutinizing it, and you breathe on it, and, you even sort of kind of maybe draw a little face on it, but nothing, you don't see anything.
I'd like to ask him, I think, Kijo, I've known you long enough to trust your hunches. What are you thinking? I can see you playing about with that mirror there. What's in your
I
mind?
could try blasting it with a fireball, see what happens.
Maybe call that plan B, eh?
That might upset the innkeeper, though.
And his non-existent wife.
Yeah.
But here's the
it's-
Here's the thing. I think we're missing several things, and
yeah, like
I
one
mean
lieutenant
that-
and the wife.
I mean
And the sergeant.
that in
Yeah.
two different ways, because there's obviously sort of like the underlying bit of there's something we're not getting here, but also in the quite literal sense of there are things that have happened that we have not gotten. When we came here initially, we were welcomed as the Fortunate Six.
Mhm.
How many of us are there, and how many of us have we only been able to perceive?
34. Hold on. We remember the innkeeper's wife,
Yeah.
but he has no memory of her. Now this Sergeant Trall fellow, we don't know Sergeant Trall, but maybe he does.
Yeah.
Just as you say that, Ben, you go, we remember the innkeepers, and then you sort of kind of stop yourself, and you're like, you can't sort of remember what you were about to say.
What was I saying?
Yeah, you're just sort of, you're unsure. The rest of you don't remember a wife either. So as far as you're
what wife?
concerned, she doesn't exist.
This is getting
Dang
freaky.
it! Oh no, that's
I think first, I think we need to find Trall. See if we can find Trall.
I should have said this. I've been writing it down, and I've been thinking my characters sort of like.
If you've written it down, then yeah, I'll buy it. Yeah, okay. So if you've written down your experience, I'd take that. Yeah. So you're reading notes that you've made from the night before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you basically finish off what Ben's saying then. So you say the wife, and they're looking at you strangely like,
What wife?
yeah.
The what? Who?
Whose wife? I'm not married.
No, I'll let you roll. What's going to be a memory test? What's that going to be? Is it going to be intelligence or
Intelligence, I think.
intelligence? Roll me intelligence.
Just a straight intelligence.
Okay, how do you roll intelligence?
19, son.
Well, you got a 10
Hold on.
there first, Ben.
Oh, no, it rolled twice. Bollocks. I didn't notice it rolled twice.
Yeah, you, Pete, I think you need to roll.
Yeah, so I found it. I couldn't find it first. Oh,
Yeah, you don't remember. You
Never mind,
as far as you're concerned, there was, there never was a wife. But you're finding it slightly odd that Kiju has notes about a wife, and you're sort of going, did you drink too much last night?
well, he's a rogue. What do you expect? These are kind of ne'er-do-wells and
Yeah.
they've not studied the arts like I have.
Gentlemen,
Indeed.
I would advise that from now on, you keep notes. Anything of interest, you write down. I
No
need you to
tattoos then.
trust me on this.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So, I'm loving the fact that you guys are actually talking this through, because the other group just fucking set fire to things, touched up the board, and left.
Well, got fireball. I wanted to actually.
So that was the wizard's preferred option.
Seriously though, I think the next thing we need to do after breakfast is to look for this trowel.
Well, there is a possible lead. I'm not entirely sure if it's this trowel, but last night, before joining my commanding dwarf, I overheard some guards discussing various bits and pieces just to get an idea about what's going on in the area. First of all, there is bandit activity, so we kind of have something to go on here. The second was apparently they've locked up a crazy guy who is, and I quote, talking biscuits.
Broken biscuits.
Broken biscuits.
I don't
Is that
think
his
that's
name or just the?
to do with us.
Could that be Sergeant Val?
Yeah. Can I check
Sergeant
the rest of
Farr.
the-
Sorry, you basically got Sergeant Farr and Lieutenant Trowell are mentioned in the diary, and the orders are the two sort of.
Can I double check the orders? What do the orders specifically say?
Ben, actually, before Steelguard, when you sort of like reminiscing, when you're talking about these names, you sort of kind of go, that's really odd. My throwing axes are called Tral and Far.
Huh.
What? I've got a trowel
You named your throwing
out of
axes.
bar right here.
Well,
You know
he's just like, I'll have to be
that
there.
is.
He's like, yeah, that's why we're called the Fortunate Six. It's us
1, 2, 3,
four,
4,
and it's us
5,
four, and
6.
the my two trusty axes. Yeah,
Happy to be
the
named after the
guns.
same
It's basically your
people.
guns.
Okay, this is
Pretty
getting
sure my
weird.
axe didn't write a diary though.
Yeah.
That seems a bit far-fetched.
Well, that's what confuses you. Right? You think it's just
Aye.
it might be a coincidence.
So were you
Alright.
guys thinking that this crazy person might be this Tral or Far?
It's
It's
very
worth
I
looking
possible.
think he might be a lead.
Well, let's go talk to him then.
Right. So
Can I have a quick look at just to recap on the orders? What do the
Go ahead.
orders specifically say?
Pass it over to him.
the orders say, and I'll flick back to it. Apologies. Valuable
No worries.
lesson in DMing. Type things out so you're not using scroll behind them. So it says orders: Commanding Officer Guard Captain M.T. Girk, Knights of the Morningstar, Lieutenant Kazar Tral, take the remainder of F section to supply routes of the Belmore front near Waterside Beacon.
That's
Eradicate.
us, isn't it?
Say
That's us.
again?
We're F section. We're
Your
F section.
F
aren't we?
section. You're our F section. Yeah.
Huh?
Supply route of Belmore front near Waterside, eradicating any banditry in the area that are harassing supply lines, help local militia to protect against potential raids if possible.
So that's
Okay,
what we do.
This is definitely going to be what we need to get through certain doors. So,
Well, we've got ranks, so we can just walk in. And failing, that's fireball.
again, that's plan B.
So,
maybe-
is there anything
maybe-
else? Sorry, Mark, you far away.
Maybe if we could talk to them before we try to burn them. People, yeah, you tend to learn an awful lot more from people that aren't charcoal.
Boys, we're soldiers. We're not going to be killing any civilians today.
Necromancy.
Pretty sure you've still got a bit of blood on, just sort of like just there.
Okay,
sorry.
so what are you doing then? Are you leaving the inn? Do you want to say anything more to the innkeeper? To the bard?
Paying for our
Ask him-
meals and the rooms.
Ask him about Trell or
Yeah.
Far.
You
Okay.
say you found this in our room. Ask him if our room was co-let to anyone because they left their stuff. No, don't mention that they left their stuff.
How
but,
about we just say how many berths did we take in the room?
Oh, how many of us were there when we came in?
He sort of, he's still a bit busy and stuff, but he said, he gives you your breakfasts and he says, it was just you four, the fortunate four.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a bit worrying.
making a
So-
note to that, it's gone to the Fortunate Four.
okay, just
Sorry. So, I mean, do I remember being the Fortunate Six at one point?
You only remember it because it was in your orders.
So at some point we've been the Fortunate Six, then the Fortunate Five, now we're the Fortunate Four. At any point, one of us could just disappear, and we might not even know.
We need
hang
to.
on, hang on as well. Remember when we were attacking those bandits? We were kind of they were being killed by things that we did not do.
There was somebody else there.
Yes.
At least.
Yes, because we couldn't account for them.
Is it
Yeah.
Paul?
Let's see. Roll me a trying to think. No, I'll just say yeah. I was going to say you're sort of wrestling with yourselves. You all have these notes. You're comparing things. You're all obviously intelligent soldiers, knights, effectively, and you're finding it hard to understand. You're marrying up what you know inside's happened and what these pieces of paper are telling you.
In this world, is there such a thing as parallel world theory?
I actually want to just sort of like side-eye the wizard and just go, is there anything like memory manipulation?
That is a thing, but the scale of this memory manipulation is quite epic, and also there are events occurring that we have no memory of, and also but
the thing,
equally,
but we've got the bag here from someone who was in the room with
Yeah.
us, with
Yeah.
you, and now we don't remember them, but we have the bag. So
Yes.
it's not so much as parallel dimensions crossing over; it's the sense that
People
we
are slipping
cannot-
away.
Hold on. So, and that would imply that it's only the people who are disappearing out of our memories. So, in theory, the innkeeper's wife's.
but
as you
equally there would be some mystic resonance from such a.
Her room should be here.
Well, yeah, that's true.
There should be some of our things here.
Yeah, there should be stuff that.
Hold on. And in the diary, it says that this Thrall character heard a scream in the night and went to investigate. It's feasible that scream could have come from the innkeeper's wife. She and he are now gone.
So
Maybe if we investigate her room, we might find some evidence that she was taken.
Well,
Okay.
if she's the innkeeper's wife, then by all accounts of logic, she should share a room with the innkeeper at
Let's
night.
go then. Let's get in there. Kijo, you're a sneaky bastard. In your pop, son.
Okay.
Reconnaissance.
I'm gonna need you to
You're going to have to go back.
distract him.
You've basically got to go into there's a side room. If you can see the map, basically there's some stairs that go upstairs, but it's like a secret, not a secret, but it's sort of a staff only sort of area and stuff. So are you all just going to wander in there, or
No.
Yes, I've got stuff.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
I can cause a distraction. I can be distracting.
Okay.
Like, how about if I stay here with Steelguard and we try to be distracting?
Oh, Bard, play us a song, laddie. I'll sing. I'm a terrible singer, but I'll distract the fuck out of everybody.
Okay. So are you, Mark? Are you playing?
I'll go with that. Yeah, let's roll with that, shall we? So I am.
That I hear.
Mark breaks out his lute and starts playing some
Where did
funky.
he get the drums from?
Yeah,
We're gonna-
so
we're gonna set
so
up
that
There's a dwarf on the table.
that
Drumming away.
Periwinkle, the gnome bard, comes flying into the room and starts sort of
yes.
bashing his hands off the table in sort of time with the music. He's like, "Mommy,
Perry!"
let's keep this party started." Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to sing the bawdiest, rudest dwarven drinking song I can remember, unless the bard would like to take it by himself. If he's
No, I think
Prefer
we'll
to
let
do
you
it
run
that-
with
that-
that because we're just looking to distract here.
yeah, well, we should set up like as far away from the side door that leads to the innkeeper's room as possible, so that we're like as still being in the main room, but like far in the corner, so everyone just looks at us and is not looking at the side door.
Yep. Okay. So you start rocking out. Periwinkle's come in, sort of. He's fucking. He got some sort of like sick coming off his beard, but he's up for sort of jamming, and sort of some of the people eating breakfast are sort of kind of live music in the morning. The innkeeper is. He's a bit too busy to sort of be bothered. He wants to get sort of things doing, but
I'm going
is
to
sort of
engage him.
yeah.
I'm going to engage as he's got his plates. I'm going to walk over and start like dancing with him, like sexy dancing up against him. What's up? Like properly dancing. Yeah,
He's like-
distracted and-
He's just like, look, I'm super busy, and I appreciate the entertainment for the morning, but I am on my own here, and
I just sing louder.
Yeah.
I sing louder as he talks.
okay, Daniel, do you want to roll me a stealth check then, please?
I imagine this is essentially the help action that they're giving.
Yes, but with bells on.
So is it with advantage? Because of the
Yes, I would say with advantage.
distraction?
Yeah, I'd say with advantage.
Hello?
Yeah, I'd say it's with advantage. Yep. Oh, hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. You can hear me? Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you. Yeah.
It looks like
lost
Daniel.
someone.
Oh no, we've lost a Daniel. Just before he was going to do a stealth check as well. Can somebody roll a stealth check for Daniel, please? Oh, actually, we can't because it's going to be on his character. Ben, you. Yeah.
I have access to his character sheet.
Yeah.
If he disappeared, does that mean that he's passed his stealth check? Couldn't resist.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
He's gone. Okay, stealth check for this bad boy here. I'm just gonna do it as him.
There he
Press
is.
it, and it should roll twice.
Yep. So he's
What
got
did we get?
24. Somebody rolled for you, Daniel. So you're all good. 20,
I just rolled.
Yeah, you're back.
you're back.
Connection to server was interrupted. Yeah.
We took care of it, don't worry.
Tinterwebs.
You rolled it
It's,
like
it's
a
a
boss.
problem. Yeah,
You're welcome.
You're welcome. 24. So yeah, while Steelguard is literally dry humping the innkeeper and singing at the top of his voice at sort of 8:30 in the morning, and the innkeeper's just not impressed. But he's suitably distracted as you slip through past the bar into the back room.
I'm surprised. We rolled rather similar. Ben got 22 and 24, and I rolled a 24 and 21.
Whoa.
Hey.
But yeah, okay. So I'm into the back room now.
Yeah, so you go into this room. It's a modest room. There's a double bed. It's got some nice wooden posts on it. There's a dresser. There's like a cupboard, a rug on the ground. There's some flowers and stuff on the side. Just a sort of modest innkeeper's room.
Okay. First thing I'm going to do, quickly check the dresser. There should be, I don't know, women's clothes.
Do you know what women's
Hanging
clothes
up?
look? Do you know what women's clothes look like?
Yes, I do.
Bear in mind, you've been a soldier for a long time. You probably haven't seen a woman in a long time. Do you want to roll me perception then? Actually, no, it won't be perception. It'll be
Investigation.
investigation.
25.
Yeah, I was hoping it
So
was a
basically,
7.
I want to look in the drawers for women's clothes, and then failing that, if I can't find anything, I want to look for any official documentation, legal matter that would have required double signatures or anything that would have been written down.
Okay.
Any evidence of her, I suppose.
Yeah. So you go through the innkeeper's drawers, and you find a petticoat, you find a few dresses, some delicate underwear. You find a sort of like a jewelry box with some, like a ring and things in it. You find
Any ring particular stands out?
no, it's just jewelry. It's a jewelry box. It's all the same. It's not. For somebody like yourself, it's worth something, but it's not worth a lot. It's sort of because it's a modest. They're not super rich, so it's not overly gaudy or expensive. You find. If you carry on searching and you find like a box, and in the box is sort of like some old letters. The letters are sort of like poetry and love letters, and you sort of discern that from the age of them that they're quite old, and it was basically the innkeeper's sort of love letters to a woman called Alessandra, and you can only assume that this is potentially the innkeeper's wife.
Okay, I'm taking a poem and I'm taking a ring as just sort of like physical mementos of this person existed, they were here. And then that's all I'm going to do. Put everything back the way it was, and then slip back into the room.
Okay. Do you want to give me another stealth check for the way out, please? Because I'm not sure how long Ben's going to be able to hold the innkeeper.
I've got a constitution of 19. I can do this all day, baby.
That's 2 people going through the innkeeper's drawers.
Shouldn't the stealth still stand until they technically sort of like emerge out of stealth, or someone perceives me?
Okay, yeah, I'll do a perception. No, because he's not going to have a really good perception check. Okay, yeah, I'll say he's suitably sort of with the busy, his busyness, and with the idiots dancing in front of him, and the
geniuses.
Yeah, and the rock concert going on at 8:30 in the morning. So you slip out and you give a nod to everybody.
A nod to the dancing dwarf. It's like, you can stop now.
Yeah.
Just instantly stop when he nods and just like, okay.
The innkeeper just goes, well, thank you for that, and walks into the back room, slightly perplexed, and
we tip him for his good time.
That was his tip.
we want to be able to return to the inn.
It's a dwarvish custom.
Right,
sexy dancing.
Okay, so that's you've done it. You've got a ring. You've got one of the innkeeper's poems.
Should we regroup?
I'd say just sort of like, unless we've got anything else we want need here, boys, I think we should make our way to the local barracks, the local police station.
Do you mind if, before we do that, if we have a quick look around the back, just walk around the tavern and see if we can see any signs of a struggle or something? Because 2 people, assume, were taken from this tavern last night.
Oh, that's a question. Did you guys see anyone? Has anyone entered the tavern recently?
Are you talking to the innkeeper?
Yeah. So has anyone come in? this morning, or has it
Um,
all just been people who have been staying overnight?
He's like, "Oh, you're full of questions today. I'm super busy, but no. You were the last. You were the last guys who came in. You were very. It was very late. You know, and
No, this morning.
Oh, this morning.
Just sort of like as soon
You
as
know,
you've opened up.
nobody else. These are all people who've stayed. They're just people who've stayed.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Captain. I just turned to the door. You're a genius.
I know.
We're all wearing military grade boots. We just need to find the pair going away from the house.
Ha! You're the fucking genius, Kijo. Let's do it.
Okay.
It's almost as though he's done this from the other side before.
So you're going outside. Now there's two ways we could do this. So what else? Sure. How am I going to do this? Okay, we'll do the. Are you going around the perimeter of the building, or are you going out into the town proper?
Go around the perimeter of the building.
Into
Yeah.
the building first, I think.
Okay.
Kijo going at the front, and then
Yeah.
maybe sort of
I'm-
like 10
I'm
feet
making-
behind the rest of us.
I'm making sort of like careful to see
Really
if there
don't
are
chatting
any
skills.
Yes, I mean that's thankfully what the scout is good at.
Yep.
So
Okay. So you go outside, and you obviously you go outside, and it goes into effectively the town square, and you can see some of the town square, which I'll show you slightly later. But obviously, there's a bit of grass. It's quite muddy leading up to the path. There are footprints in the mud. It's slightly dried over because it didn't rain last night. But you can investigate the footprints if you want.
okay, so that would be survival, I imagine. Just sort of like
Investigation.
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 Investigation
3,
works for me.
2, 1. 19. Oh, double 19.
Right. Okay. You sort of you are a scout, and your job is tracking. So you sort of kneel down, and you sort of kind of look at sort of the footprints that have come in, and you're pretty well aware of the age of the footprints. Again, that's sort of your job. That's what you do, and you notice that there are 5 sets of footprints with that sort of tie in with the issue boots that you would wear for a night of the Morningstar coming in.
Okay, so yeah, we have a confirmation of 5 military grade boots entering the facility, and it doesn't look like from the main entrance that any of them have left. Right, so need to do a quick perimeter check to check other exits to see if there were
anyone leaving the other way.
Yeah, because there's no evidence of scuffle inside as far as we've been able to see. So I'm assuming that Trowel left.
It's fair.
Or
It's fair, yes. Maybe she went outside to put the bins out, and that's where she got caught, and that's where Trell heard her screaming. Come on, let's have a look around.
Okay, so you start sort of looking around the perimeter of the inn. You see footprints and things. You don't see anything that would constitute military boots. There are tracks around, but it's nothing that ties in with what you've seen at the front.
okay, so
Is there any sign that anything's been dragged? Like a bag or something like that?
There is, because you're in a market town, so there is drag marks, but you wouldn't be sure what it is or.
But when we sort of finish and we're sort of like still by ourselves out of the way of the main area, I'd like to just say to the boys, we've been soldiers for a long time together, and I trust you with my life. I think that we are under attack. We need to be on a war footing from here on out. 5 of us went in, 1 of them's gone, and we don't remember it. There's something very powerful and very dangerous at work here, and we need to be fucking on our game.
Fireball first, ask questions later. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Know what I'm saying. Go on, damn it.
Yeah, because of your sort of experience with the corruption, you all sort of solemnly sort of like, yeah, okay, you're very aware of the horrors that sort of lurk. And so, as much as this, your minds are struggling to comprehend what you're trying to tell yourself, you sort of accept that you need to be on alert at this moment in time. Okay, so do you want to go back in? Do you want to walk around the town a bit more?
Kijo, what do you think?
Are there any rooms downstairs that we haven't yet been in and that it looked like? Oh,
there's rooms. There's sort of like you can see sort of from the. You can see from the drawing, you've basically got what is effectively like a dining room, sort of conference room. You have stairs that go upstairs. You've got a basement down to the beer cellar.
Beer cellar.
Beer cellar.
I think we'd want to check all avenues here, so we want to be very careful.
You guys are so thorough, it's amazing. The other guys literally walked in and went within about 5 minutes.
Okay, so if there are no footprints of his leading out, we have to assume that
he's either
whatever
still there, or he left a weird way.
He was taken in such a way that's been covered up now, and I can't identify. So the only remaining things, whilst the evidence is still fresh, would be inside in rooms we haven't been yet, and I'd say we limit that to because I'm assuming walking around we've been able to get an idea of the rooms that do exist that we haven't been in yet.
Also, did I see a trap door leading down to the beer cellar around the outside? I can see on the map there on
That's
the
a good point, yeah.
edge.
Yeah, you got
I can see
that opens up. That's where they put the beer, the kegs and things in.
We should go down there.
That's true.
That is round the front though, so that would
Is it around the front?
It's not around the front, it's around the side.
It's around the
Shit.
side,
It's on
lad.
the side, yeah.
I can also see the invisible. I suppose see invisibility.
Okay.
That is tempting, actually.
Could be
Just
very
basically,
useful.
just like spend like an hour thoroughly searching this building, get top to bottom, through literally as you say it, like as in room to room to room.
Okay.
Do it as methodically as we can.
How are you going to do this? Are you going to split up? Are you going to?
No, don't split up. No, don't split up. I think
If we
you
split up, we'll
rely
end
on.
up as the Fabulous 2.
I think the approach is as essentially a sweep and clear.
Okay.
We
I would
basically go from
recommend that
room
we
to
limit-
room, and anyone that gets in our faces, we just throw a military rank at them. Say, listen, we're on a mission. We can't talk about it.
We have two
And
options then. The first is we don't want to seem like we're just militia throwing our weight around. If we need to do a thorough search, we would have to go to the militia first and
But
get some kind of
there's a risk.
authorization from them.
Yeah,
But
there
there's a
are
risk.
guards. There are some guards from the night before in there and stuff. So if you start running around, throwing yourself around, throwing your weight around, they might ask questions. It's up to you. You can try it.
Equally, we
we
do
will
not
get-
want to give
we will get
people
stopped
warning
by
in advance.
We will get stopped by locals and get in trouble for agitating.
That's what fireball's for.
Why don't we? Let's head downstairs fast then.
Yeah.
Let's see what's down there.
So I say
Maybe that's where they are. Maybe they snuck away in the night and they're just canoodling.
Okay, in that case, then I'll cast. So from this point, we've got an hour. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay. Right.
do we want to split into two
No.
parties? Two, so
No.
So we've Fabulous 4 at the moment. It's not become this Fabulous 2 or 1.
two, yeah, but two, the
Fortunate,
other thing
you're the
would be
fortunate.
two
But,
people would cover more ground
Yeah.
quicker and look less conspicuous. We have a group of 4. If we go into
Well,
various rooms where we're not supposed to be,
Bear in
We-
mind,
we lack-
are
we
you
lack
still
coordination.
in your armor? Are you armored? Are you
That's
in
a
your
point.
are you in your normal clothes? How are you?
I
sort
think
of-
we're just dressed
We're
casual
under,
since we came
actually, no, we
downstairs.
are under attack. Thereby, I'm casting mage armor.
Well, are you?
Yeah, I think he's talking about how do you look physically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
I think I'm in my soldier's
travelling gear.
uniform.
we just
So you're not in your plate meal? Are you in your plate?
I would have thought so.
I don't know when I would have taken it off.
Yeah.
Only because
You've
we
literally
came
just
here,
left.
we
You're
travel.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We travel in armor. We get there. I get shift days. I don't take it off. I
My
think
light
I'm
armor can fit under a cloak anyway, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
I'm sort of
Matt, quick question:
obscuring it.
could I cast multiple versions of mage armor on different people?
I
It's your
think
mage.
it's
Your
stealth.
mage armor is a spell.
Just a spell.
So it's not.
Okay.
If once you've used it, you have the rest. Sort of.
Fair enough. Cool.
Okay, it's up to you if you want to cast it.
I've cast it on myself.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no, it's touch, ranged touch, a willing creature. So it can be yourself, can be other people.
So
But then,
I'm taking up slots.
Yeah.
yeah,
Take up
you're
slots.
you're burning for your slots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll cast it on myself.
Wait,
And
you don't. I don't think you need it now. Without sort of wasting it, you don't really need
Okay.
it at this moment in time.
it
It's-
also doesn't do anything to me. My AC is already at 16.
yeah.
So
Okay. So you're all going down. You go around the back of the pig and harp, and yes, there's two double doors where the beer cellar is. It does have a lock on it. You can force it. That you could be seen by some people. So bear in mind you're in a town centre. You're in a town centre. It's not as busy. Do you know what I'll do? What I'll do is I'll move you over to the map. Let's see what you can see, and then you can make a decision from that.
Okay.
So we need to go.
this is why I'm saying it might be better if two people sort of like.
Well, we
Did
can
the
always
invest-
stand around. I can make a wall while you do some lock picking.
Okay.
Ooh.
You're going
Oh,
to.
we can see nothing.
Yeah, birth of moment. So you should. Am I meant to go?
yep.
So that's where you are. You're in the pig and harp. The back is there's basically like this sort of kind of like a cliff, a raised area overlooking it. I'll see if I can undo that. Let's see, reveal area. So yeah, there's like a.
Oh, that's perfect. No one can see us.
Yeah. So there is some houses in and around sort of there. What you can see is basically your route that you took into to the area. Without a map, obviously you can't see the whole place. But that's sort of kind of what you can see at this moment in time.
I think there is such thing as being too thorough. So I think if we do go in, we check just the cellar and then head on.
No. I think, given what we're facing at the moment, we need to be thorough. We can't take chances.
We be thorough. If we're thorough, people will start asking questions, and we will do this in a more public view. We don't have enough evidence yet, and right now we could end up in the same position as the crazy man, who I'm starting to believe now is unaffected by whatever is addling up everyone's minds.
But
I
we
think-
have rank, and thereby we can be classed
we're
as
not.
eccentric.
No, we're not that kind of militia. There's sort of like local force overrules us, and we could be imprisoned for.
I think
wrong
it's going to have to be up to Steel Guard. You're the rank. You're effectively like what would be a guard corporal within the night.
So
So
an
it's
NCO.
an NCO effectively. So it's up to you.
Aye, well, we need to investigate. If we get caught by the militia, we can't tell them anything about this. We need a cover story. If we start talking about lost memories and innkeepers' wives don't exist no more, we're going to get locked up. It's just like that other guy you said, Kijo. So we need to have a cover story. What if we are looking for a deserter that we know is in the town and is hiding out in town somewhere.
Good call. I like it.
I can say that. So, with that in mind, if the three of us, the wizard, the
here's
bard,
the
and
thing.
the guard,
Here's the thing. If we want to temporarily put this on hold and nip to the local militia, we have technically orders to assist local militia.
I'm not sure I trust them, to be honest.
No, but if we go in, touch base with them and say
No, we don't touch base.
No, because if we get caught and say, look, we're helping the local militia, talk to the police, and they go to the local militia, they can say, yes, what they're doing is indirectly helping us, which those are our orders.
Just bear in mind, I've dealt with enough local militias in these tin pot towns to know that they do not take kindly to the soldiers walking in their jurisdiction.
I just
They're going
think
to be over.
I think they're also going to expect that if there are bandits who may have made their way into the town to have been notified first.
But they will ask for evidence
I
and
think
by the maps.
so. You see, we're going to have a vote. I know Ben is the ranking CEO, but because
I'll allow a vote. Yeah.
yeah, well, I think we'll have a vote on it, and so we'll have a vote, and then we'll do a persuasion roll for if there's a tie. So, Ben, what would you like to do?
So we're going to vote. Anyone who wants to go and talk to the militia and to declare ourselves in town that we are here to help them, raise your hand. If you leave it down, we're going to stay here and we're going to get onto the beer cellar. So whose hands are up?
My
So-
hands up.
Down.
All right, so the three of you. So unfortunately, the vote carries. Kiju, it's up to yourself if you want to disobey the order or not. But obviously, you're a soldier, so it doesn't come naturally. You can roll for it if you really feel that strongly, but it's up to you.
As his commanding officer, I'll say, if you feel this strongly about it, Keijo, go and have a chat to the militia. Keep it on the down low, though. See what you can find out.
But
Don't
tell them everything. I'm not gonna show them the thing. I'm just gonna show them our orders
Aye.
and say that there were a few who got away and were headed in this area. Hence why
Right.
we stayed at the Pig and Harp overnight.
And I'm going to write Keijo all over my fucking arm, so I'm not going to forget you. Keijo went to the militia. Don't forget Keijo. It's like fucking memento. Just all over my head and shit.
Okay. Right. Okay, so Keijo, you don't know where the militia camp is. It's not a familiar town to you, so you will either have to wander around and find it, or find a place that will sell you a map for you to
Or just nip into the Pig and Harp, show the innkeeper my orders, and say, I have to talk to the militia. Can you help me? Fine.
Yeah,
Can you point me in the right direction?
do that.
Keijo, before you go, lad, would you mind just fucking getting this lock off the door? 'Cause I don't think the Mathronaxes are going to be as subtle as your lock picked.
I will.
Boom clunk.
I was going to come back here as soon as I sort of like touch base with the militia.
Yeah.
Shit.
But while you're gone, we have things to do.
Yes.
What I was going to say was
Nope.
because you got more things for the militia to do as well. We've got.
I'm loving
We've got-
this. This is amazing.
Man.
I much thought you were going into this. Right, so three of you are staying here to break into the cellar.
Hold on. We're not breaking into the cellar without the rogue. I just realised. A shit show.
that's what
Yeah, it's smashing the fucking lock. It's easy of a rogue. No.
Fireball.
Yeah.
This is why he's trying to sneak off to the militia. He's trying to nobble us.
I would love if someone could come
Why
with us.
don't we just all go to the militia and then come back here?
I'm just worried that if there's something stashed in that cellar,
Yeah.
it might not be there when we come back.
Do you want to stay here then, Daniel? Do you want to stay here and guard it?
I can do that, but
Do both of you want to stay here and guard it? Pointing to the wizard and the bard.
Okay, you can let us in.
Um,
Or shall I make my own way?
yes. Can I just check something?
Yep.
Matt, Are we supposed to know who Aldar Starbreeze is?
He was just another character who I created because in the last game, Paul was being a bit of a bitch about wanting what character he wanted to be, so I created a character.
I just thought it was just sort of like, oh, there's the 5th member of the...
Yeah.
That's right. Like, I'm much more at ease doing this as soon as we've gone and touched base with the militia, so that if we do get caught, we can say we're looking for bandits in the area, and we have gone to your guys first, and they've know that
Our
we're
militia recognise part of our chain of command.
You
in such a way that we are enlisted to help them. I point at the orders.
Yeah, you are. You, in theory, you aren't really. You're like wardens. You're there to protect. You're sort of your job. Historically, was to prevent war between two of the main empires. You and there's basically in the center of the map of Freya. There's like a magical portal, and you and another order in the north are sworn to sort of protect its entrance and keep peace in the area. Your remit has sort of increased slightly because of the war with the corruption, and you have sworn your oaths to protect the area you're in. Therefore, your sort of rank would...
It's kind of like Dragon Age Inquisition. So you've got the Inquisitors who go around to various villages who, in that remit, have their own police force to govern the law there.
Yeah,
you don't specifically have like higher rank, so you can't order them around, but there is sort of an importance to your role.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like, they'll probably know who you are, and they'll recognize that things. If they want to listen to you, it's up to you. It's we don't know. We have to sort of find out.
Yeah. I would say, because I've been outvoted, we do this quickly because I don't want to go anywhere on my own, and I do want to talk to whoever's in lockup with you guys, because you will obviously have questions that I won't be able to think of. So, cover my back, and I'm going to put up my hood so that if I am seen, they just see a hooded figure.
Inconspicuous then.
As rogues are.
Yeah, and we'll try and stand in a way that it blocks most of the view.
I get some guano and sulfur ready, just in case.
Okay, so what's happening then? What are you doing?
Using my thieves' tools.
Sorry, just before you start that, do either you magic users have any kind of magic that might obfuscate wee Kijo here doing his business?
Nope, sorry. I can do a minor illusion. That's the only distraction.
I mean, could the illusion be a bush?
It might be people wondering where that bush came from.
A large keg. A large beer keg.
Danian, you're a legend. Aye, do a beer keg next time.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I got you. I always get you two mixed up.
Don't worry,
It's because he doesn't have you written
One's
down
a half
in hand.
elf and one of them's a bald human mate.
Hey,
wizard.
I don't see race, pal. Alright.
Humans just look like humans, dwarves, right?
You're both magic users. You're both tall magic users. That's all I can see.
Okay, so it's...
You trying to say they all look alike?
Some of my best friends are magic users. Come on, man.
Okay, so minor illusion cantrip, conjure a large beer keg in front of the door, so basically the rogue is obscured.
Okay, so you manifest this sort of beer keg. There's not a lot of people in that area. There is sort of a house sort of to the sort of north of you, but there's nobody there. So you put the beer keg in front of yourselves, and the rogue goes to work. So do you want to roll on your thieves' tools? 16. Yeah. Okay. You quite easily. It's an old lock. It's not something you've not sort of opened before. You craftily make a click, and it opens up.
Okay, so I'm gonna open it slightly and listen in to see if I can hear anyone down there before going to everyone and going. So who else wants to? I imagine seeing visibility would be useful down
Yeah,
there.
I'm going to cast that
Dark
right now.
vision.
You've
Oh,
got
we'll all
dark
go.
vision.
Yeah.
We've all got dark vision. Bar Bethesda doesn't have dark vision, but the rest of you do.
Yeah, but see invisibility and
Yeah.
yeah,
So you're using that duration
Yeah,
1 hour. Okay.
duration for an hour. So basically, I'm just going to, as soon as I enter, on it goes, and basically for a search of this building.
Okay. All right. So you go down. It's the light sort of shines down. It's quite a bright day. Light shines down. You
Can
just
we close the doors behind us?
yeah. So you go down. It's quite dark after the thing's closed up. There are some sort of little lamps on the side, which you light up, and you have a look around. Roll me a perception check, please.
All of us?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, bollocks. Nope.
The dwarf is still drunk from the night before.
I think he went down the stairs face first.
So Mark and Daniel, you you have a look around, and you see there's beer kegs and things around. There's there's a bit of beer. There's like a barrel, that's been tipped over. It's like, so one of the beer kegs is sort of over on its side, and it spewed all of its sort of contents out. Obviously, it's sort of soaked into the ground by now. You also notice a mace in the corner, just near the beer keg.
Oh, what's
Okay.
A mace.
Mace.
that?
So
Oh, okay.
Nothing here, lads. Let's go back upstairs.
I'm gonna pick up the mace, and does it look like one of ours?
It is. It's quite a nice mace. Can you roll me? I want to be investigation or perception.
Investigation is usually with your hands, so perception is sort of like from afar.
Yeah. So
Investigation.
investigation. Roll me an investigation roll then.
Does anyone else who has seen this want to?
Yeah.
Ah.
So that would be.
Yeah,
There we
Pete.
go.
Yeah, Mark.
Oh.
I just. The bard goes, I'll have that. Should I roll? I don't know.
Mark Darnian sort of has a look at it, and because obviously he's a bard, he's all into his sort of arts and crafts, and sort of he's like, oh yeah, that's a nice looking mace, and he sort of has a look around it. It's quite nice. There is a little bit of there's a bit of blood on it. You recognise that it is of the same order. It's got like a stamp of like a star on it. You also notice that it's got like a little engraving on it with the initials KT.
Ooh,
Handy that.
Kazar Trowel.
Kazar trial. This is where it happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Innkeepers don't just generally tip big barrels of beer across the floor without making some sort of an effort to at least clear up,
Hey,
Yeah.
unless they've been
Something terrible
distracted.
happened to you.
hold on. Nobody move. Kijul, could you have a look at any tracks or anything?
As you're just about to talk to Kijo, it's as if you have this feeling that a silence has been broken. Not broken. It's hard to describe. It's as if silence has happened. It's like what you were listening to, which in your minds was silence, has suddenly dissipated, and actual silence has kicked in. Can you all roll me a perception check, please?
Oh my goodness.
15.
Oh, God.
21.
6.
You are seeing invisibility. Your attention is elsewhere.
Ben, you notice by the beer barrel that's been knocked over, a lot of blood. The blood that you're sure wasn't there before, but there's a lot of blood, and effectively in a pool, and you sort of glance, and there seems to be like a hole in the roof.
What?
And then
Wasn't me.
It disappears, and then you sort of, it's like the blood starts to sort of slowly disappear, and the hole in the roof sort of seems to sort of repair itself.
Can I feel the floor where the blood was to see if there's anything fluidy there? But I just can't see it. And I want to feel the roof as well to see if I can hit it, if it's solid or if it's just my mind.
The roof is quite high, so you'd have to stand on something to get up there, and you are a dwarf as well.
What are you tall lads? Lift me up.
No one tosses a dwarf.
But they do give him a leg up.
Okay, so you roll me another perception check.
Just
Investigation check. Sorry, investigation.
All of us, or just him?
Just him, because he's the one doing. You haven't noticed anything.
13.
You look. You sort of. You get down on your knees. Everybody's looking at you quite strangely because you haven't had time to sort of comprehend what you've just seen. And you start putting your hands where you felt the blood was, and you pick them up, and you don't see any blood, but it's wet. Obviously, you think it's the beer.
Sorry, lads. I thought I saw a huge puddle of blood on the floor here, and a hole in the ceiling.
That was me.
Because what are you told, boys? Just touch that. Try and just hit that ceiling there and see if it's solid.
Okay, get my stuff up and give it a tap.
Nice.
You tap the ceiling, and it seems solid to you.
Solid.
Is he tapping exactly where the hole would have been?
He doesn't know where exactly it is.
I can say left a bit. No,
You're-
no.
Because you're so basically what's happened is you've had this sort of flash, like in like one of those horror movies where you just had this sort of like flash of what could have been a reality. You've seen blood and you've seen a hole, but it literally dissipates pretty much straight away. So you kind of vaguely show the area where you think it is. If you want to roll me a perception check, whoever's going to tap it, Pete.
I would like to help guide him.
Pete sort of starts hitting around with his staff, and he's just like, "Yeah, that's just there's nothing up there." And they sort of,
Do you want a hole in it?
They are slightly, because I'm not sure one of your backstories is like you've seen horrors and things like that, and you're not sure if this is something that is coming back, like a PTSD sort of thing, and you're like, maybe you had too much to drink last night.
That's not mine.
Okay.
I've not seen horrors.
Okay, that's cool. Then.
What's above this room?
It would be one of the back rooms. Behind the bar.
I'm going to sound a bit crazy now, lads, but would you humour me a bit, and if we could just go and investigate just what's above this room?
Let's stay down here, finish searching this floor, and then go up to the next floor.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm loving this, man, that you guys are still in the bar. It's awesome. I'm loving it. Yeah. I'm having to sort of kind of completely sort of make some shit up here, but it's great. Okay. So, yeah. Right. So
I think we're out saying welcome.
Your option here is going to be you either walk up the stairs and come out the back door and going to get noticed probably for being in the cellar, or you go back out the way you come and go in the front door as normal, or you do something else.
I'm voting. I'm voting for we've gotten unnoticed thus far, but if we go upstairs, we will definitely be noticed.
Have we finished in the basement? That's the main question. Is there any other rooms in this basement that we have not yet found?
I was cut off before I said, Kijo, would you mind just investigating around, see if there are any signs on the floor, any tracks, anything like that we've missed?
I imagine that the beer has made it almost impossible.
Roll investigation.
Can I help him?
On disadvantage. What? Yeah, okay.
We'll help him. We'll help.
Yeah.
You can have a look.
So if we're all looking.
20. Wait, no, it can. Wait.
You're on 14 because you're on disadvantage.
Would it still be disadvantage if I'm helping him?
Yeah, that's what the help action does. The help action cancels out the disadvantage.
So, all right, okay.
So it's 20. It's the first one, which is 22.
Right, okay. So you do notice, sort of faintly, the beer has obscured it quite a bit, but you do notice the footprints that sort of tie in with the sort of boots that somebody from your order would wear down there, and you also notice a slightly more dainty footprints sort of as well.
Where do they lead?
They're just there. There's no leading. It looks like I
put my hands on. I keep on forgetting names. On Fahid's shoulder and just go. Okay, so those are the tracks. You say you saw something above. Was it directly above the tracks?
Was it?
You don't know. The flash is just literally was just a flash, and it's gone.
I can't remember. I'm so sorry, Kijo. It was on the roof somewhere. Someone I don't know. Could have been. I don't know.
I think we might be dealing with more than just bandits in the area. I think we're not. I think we need to back out of here and find a solid lead. I am going to have to push towards the local militia because
I think next stage will be to look in the room above.
Per Kijo, let's just go to the fucking militia, and you're like, nah, let's go upstairs.
We want to take something to the militia. That's the problem.
Yeah, we need firm evidence.
So what are you looking for? What is it you're trying to sort of achieve at this minute time? So you've got written orders and things. You've got a mace. You're obviously no proof that there's blood there, but
there's blood on the mace.
There is blood on there is a bit of blood on the mace. Yes, it's dried blood.
But I think with the hole that's not a hole as well. If we can nail that down as well.
But you don't know. See, the thing is, Ben, you got to think about this. You aren't aware of it. Ben has literally just seen a hole. So as far as you're concerned, there is no hole, there is no blood, and he's talking about this, and you're just like, you're not making sense.
Aye, but you say there's no hole, but at the same time, there's no what's his name, Kral, the owner of this mace, never existed.
I want to propose an idea here that whatever we're dealing with, if there is clearly something that's messing with our minds, there's clearly something that's obscuring the facts.
Aye.
So we need to treat everything that we see as flash of inspirations as realizations, as some sliver of truth.
Potentially.
Indicated something above. I think we're honestly dealing with something monstrous. And trying not to metagame was so hard because the hole in the roof implies a long neck. If it is monstrous, it's sort of like something that could go in and out. But I don't know there's a hole or.
What you're implying is we're well and truly outnumbered here.
What I'm implying is that we are out of our depth here, and we need more numbers on our side, and we need more information from people other people who have experienced it. Because right now we're coming at this from it's someone who has messed around with the scene of the crime. I think that what happened with the barrel was purely accidental and sort of part of the
struggle.
action. The struggle.
Incidental.
So going about looking for evidence in the rest of the bar would be futile because
you're basically you got to bear in mind that you are looking for bandits. There's potentially a raid that you may or may not happen soon. So the more time that you spend looking for things is the less time you have to prepare for any potential assaults.
Yeah, that's the other thing of the sort of like very real threat that we know that there's probably going to be a certain Captain Byron who the local militia need to be told about this morning.
Aye. Once again, Kijo, you made a fine point. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's not try not to get arrested as we sneak out of the cellar, shall we?
Yeah. You get out there. The barrel is still there. You sort of go up. You close over the gates to the beer cellar, and you click back on the lock, and where
disable the illusion.
Yeah, and you go. So at the minute, you're sort of standing in front of the Pig and Harp. You can see the general store. You can see across the way, it's a place called the Pot and Potion. There's the town hall. There's like a market and a clock tower in the middle. A few other little shops and stuff that you can see. That's it. Again, without a map, you won't be able to see what else is going on unless you sort of explore it.
I'm sure
it's fairly busy right now.
People less likely to rip us off are probably the innkeeper in the Pig and Harp, so I suggest we nip in there and ask for either town map, directions to a town map, or directions to the militia.
Well, hold on. Didn't we pass a town hall on the way? That just this building here. Surely they'd have the town. They'd have people who were in charge. Maybe they could actually fucking tell us who's in charge of this town.
That's a good point.
Hey,
yeah,
the militia might be the man there.
yeah.
If I was the militia, I'd be in the town hall.
Good shout. Let's head there next.
Okay.
I might vote there.
I'm not sure I'm going to do.
Fortunate 4 away.
Terrific 3. Wait, what happened to the bard?
I don't see him anywhere.
Let's see. This is probably where we're going to go. You know what? I'm not even going to do that. I'll just describe it to you. I had another one, but it would mean sort of wandering around, and I think that's just easier this way. Okay, so you go into the town. You go to the town hall. It's quite a grand looking building. Got some nice statues and things, some engravings, sort of similar to sort of most town halls that you would see in the local area. You go to the front door, and it is closed because it is obviously it's a weekend.
Son of a.
Huh.
Okay, guys, I've got some sulfur. I've got some guano. I'll open it in a second.
There's going to be a point when we just say.
So we knocked harder.
It's obviously you've turned up on a Saturday night. Well, effectively, I'm not sure what the days are in Dungeon Strikers, but it's a Saturday night. It is Sunday now, so it will be open tomorrow.
Well, let's just wander. Let's get the lay of the land. Sorry, let's just get the lay of the land a bit and just wander around the town and see what we can see. We might find the militia that way.
True.
So you're not going to go in any shops or anything. You're just
rule number 1: when your soldier is in unfamiliar territory, you get the lay of the land.
Yeah.
We are at war here.
I know, but
What's the nearest shop, Matt?
There's a general store there.
I'm While they're arguing, I'm just going to slip off and maybe have a quick chat with the general store owner.
Okay, all right.
No, he's gone.
Yeah. So you three are sitting there just arguing about what you are doing, and you go. Mark Denarian goes off to takes a wander to the local store. Opens the door, little bell rings. I do have a thing for this, but again, there's probably no point because there's not a lot going to go together. I'll ding-a-ling-a-ling. You know what?
Disappointed.
Where is it? Is this the store? Is this the store? This is the store. This is the store.
Already prosperous then?
So this is the store. You walk in, you just see sort of their supplies around. It's quite sort of, there's a lot in the shop. Their bumper with their supplies. There's a guy at the desk, sort of nods his head at you as you walk in.
So I'm going to wander over to the desk.
Yep.
And just greet him. So, good morning, sir.
Well, hardy there, partner. Prostecker Steve here.
Brilliant.
What are you doing here in Waterside?
Oh, well, we're just kind of passing through. We were in the area looking for somebody, and unfortunately we picked the wrong day, really, because we were looking for militia, and apparently the town hall's closed.
Yeah. The Militia Camp. That's in the south. That's in the southeast of the town. I've got some nice maps here if you want to buy one.
To the southeast, you said, yeah?
Yep.
So, just a matter of interest, how do you get on with the militia around here? Are they good people?
They're local boys. They drink a bit too much, but yeah, it's good. We haven't had too much trouble.
So they look after you guys properly, yeah?
Yeah, as best we can.
That's good to hear. Just a matter of interest, have you got any nice fruit at the moment? I thought I might pick up something just for on the road while we're mooching around.
Oh, we have got the finest fruit in Bellamore in this here. You're not going to find any better fruit than you're going to find in my dear shop. So he points you over to his produce and sort of says, "Take your pick."
Okay, so I'm going to wander over and just grab a couple of apples, one each for us.
Yep.
March back and offer up the appropriate payment.
Yep. He says, "I can't interest you in anything else, can I, sir? We've got some nice armor over here. We got some nice rations for you boys. We know you might need some rations. We've also got some nice books. Well, we got everything. You sure you just want these apples?"
Well, I was thinking I'd bring the guys back a bit later on to do a little bit of browsing, but at the moment I just wanted to pop out and just make sure that they knew we had a good general store in place and take care of business,
You sound like a tourist on holiday when you don't want to buy something from it. Yeah, man, we're going to totally come back. Yeah, he's all right, no problem, partner, that'll be... And then he sort of, 20 copper or something like that. He gives you the apple, he says, and here you go. And he hands you a map of the local area and says, "Make sure you come back, y'all."
Give him an incentive to be nice to me.
Yeah. So he gives you sort of like a map of the local area.
Handy.
So you walk back. The other three of them are literally shitting themselves because you've just disappeared, and they think that they've just lost another member of the party, and then you reappear, and they're like, "Fuck!" All right.
So I chuck them each an apple.
Yeah.
and then I hand Steelguard the map.
Okay, let me just...
I take it off. I'm a little bit peed off. It's like, next time you want to disappear, you tell me, son. Bloody hell, we were shitting bricks over here.
You were busy, and there was a very friendly gentleman over there in the local store who was really happy to give me a map because he thought we were going to do some shopping later on. And apparently we need to go southeast, find the militia.
Well, you've done good, lad. Well... Right,
so this is the map. This is the map of the town, which I created. Thank you very much.
That's very nice.
Yeah. So yes, this is Waterside.
So many places.
Yeah, like some of them may have no relevance whatsoever. Other ones may do. Some, they're just
So
they're
some
just
we can burn down,
Yeah.
and others we can't.
certain
Without being
things.
thorough.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a library.
Yeah.
I thought we searched the library.
But do we go to the town watch and the jail, or do we go to the militia fort?
Well, our orders say the militia, so
True.
I think we should go there first.
Okay. So let's see. What time is it? You've spent. It was like about 8:30 in the morning when you sort of got up. You spent probably about an hour on your breakfast. You probably spent another couple of hours faffing around with your investigation. So we're saying sort of 11:30 in the morning ish. You make your way to the militia fort. And can you just roll me perception, please?
Oh god, that sucked.
Yeah, that's you all right?
I was enjoying my apple, wasn't I?
Yeah. All of you, bar Mark, bar Denarian, who's eating his apple and enjoying the walk around this new city. You notice that in this sort of it's a sort of typical militia fort. Nothing special, nothing overly formidable. But you notice that there's no guards. There's no guards on the parapet. There's no guards at the door. The door's wide open. It's very odd. It's very odd, and you, as soldiers, you're slightly concerned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drawing
Is
info.
is the invisibility still active?
Say it.
Good for an hour,
but
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, keep it active, and mage armor still active, and also ready a few spells. Just
Okay, so you wander in. There's basically like it's not a sturdy fort, but it's got like this massive sort of like tent in the middle, with lots of sort of like a massive sort of gazebo type thing with lots of sort of little sections. You go into the sort of main area, which you assume is the mess area of the fortification, and you see a scene of absolute carnage. You see beer everywhere. You see drunken men on the floor. You see a guy in the corner taking a piss. These guys, this militia, are absolutely banjaxed. Obviously from the night before, but some of them are still drinking now.
Is there anyone here I can see who's like any rank, like a commander or anything like that?
You don't see anybody of rank. You just see a lot of militiamen, either unconscious or sort of, slightly sort of drowsy, going off to be asleep, sort of in these sort of like long tables.
Can I grab the nearest cogent looking one, the least drunk one, if possible?
Yes, all right, okay. So you walk over to one of the sort of slightly sort of slumbering militiamen, and you grab him. And you're, what are you going to say to him?
I do my best military. What's my rank? Am I a guard colonel? Did you say?
Corporal, wasn't it?
No, you're like a corporal, yeah.
Definitely not a colonel.
I grab him by the scruff of the leg and pull him up onto feet. On your feet, son! What is going on here? I've not seen such a disgraceful state in a military camp in all my life.
Roll intimidation.
Oh, that's my jam. Critical fail time. I got 18.
Yeah. This militiaman is he's sort of obviously kind of hungover, and then suddenly this sort of fully armored, angry dwarf who smells like shit, and sort of obviously has come in because obviously
in
you're not
full soldier's armor and
has come in and has grabbed him, and he panics, and he's like help, and some of the other sort of militiamen sort of kind of turn around and look at you. He's just like, whoa, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And he doesn't sort of overly comprehend what's going on, obviously, because he's slightly drunk, and some random person just grabbed him. So what do you want to say to him?
Yeah, I'm Corporal Steelguard of the Morningstar, F Division?
Section.
F Section. We are here to help you, sorry lot, and it looks like you'd use all the help you can get. Where's your commanding officer, son?
Right, I need you to roll perception.
All of us, or just...
Yeah, all is.
20!
Yeah. Ben, you sort of notice that when you ask him, or sorry, when you basically shout at him about the, about being a sorry lot and who's in command here, he looks at you sort of like he's not sure, and he's sort of like, we don't have any commanding officers. That's not how it works in this town. We're in charge. We're the militia. We look after this place. And he's just like, I don't want any trouble. And you've got a couple of other sort of militiamen who are sort of like looking at you strangely, but they're all like hungover. Some of them are sort of stirring.
So they've all more forgetting, perhaps.
I would say. I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd say that this is another victim of the memory, whatever it is. I just throw him down, disgusted. I just turn to you three. Doesn't look like we'll get up in here.
Well, gentlemen, we thought we'd introduce ourselves. We are, and I pull out the order and just go, here on official business to help you eradicate bandit and their related activity in the area.
It's just like one of them, sort of the one who Ben sort of manhandled. So like, there's no bandits in this area. We killed them all. We got rid of them the other night. That's
Mark just sort of leans in. I don't think so.
Yeah. What are you trying to persuade him of?
So I'm just going to say, I think you'll find that when you sober up, that you've an awful lot of mess grow around here. Otherwise, why would they have sent us?
Yeah. He's
obviously confused, isn't he, already?
Yeah, he says, okay, so maybe we had a bit, maybe sort of had a bit of help, but we definitely we killed some of those bandits in the Arrowhead Woods. We killed them, in the Arrowhead Woods.
Who helped you?
Who? Oh, nothing. It was just like, there's like a bear. We were looking to hunt a bear, and there was like a big bear in the woods, and it just sort of leapt. It just sort of leapt on these guys, and he didn't kill many. He just basically distracted them while we did all the business, and we killed them. That's why we're celebrating, because we won a major battle.
Are you sure it was a bear? Can you honestly look me in the eye and tell me it was a bear? You're sure?
Yes, as far as he's aware, it was a bear. It's a bear.
So he doesn't twitch around anymore now. He's kind of figured it. He's got it fixed in his head.
Yeah, it's a bear. He just said it's like it's a bear. His stories, maybe, you don't fully believe everything he's telling you. He seems like he's, typical militia, all talk, no action sort of guy. It's all about the story and not about the content. So, how many they killed, or if they killed anybody. But he's pretty adamant there was a bear in the woods.
I'll tell you what, mate. So while you guys sort yourself out, if there's no one in charge here, do you mind if we borrow the office in the corner? Because,
yeah, just sort of just work away. Can we carry on drinking?
Go, yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Knock yourself out. There's some left.
Yeah.
I glare at those guys who said yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you sort of you're as the ranking sort of NCO? I think Ben sort of it's up to you.
I glare at them, but I don't say anything to undermine their authority.
Okay.
Weekend, they're already shit-faced. They're useless from today.
Yeah.
So I'll say to him, get your fill today, because after this, there'll be no more drinking in this militia. You're going to be a hard unit, so when the bandit attack arrives, you'll be ready.
What bandit attack? What are you talking about?
I ignore him and walk off towards the corner.
He's like, what bandit attack? What bandit attack? He's starting to get slightly panicky now that you've mentioned an attack on the area.
We broke them.
And he's sort of following you and going, Corp, what bandit attack? What do you mean?
I'm going to motion to either Danian or Athesta if they're currently not being looked at by the militia, and I'm assuming the jail's down.
Well, I think the jail's with the town watch, isn't it?
Yeah, you got
There's
the time
like
watch in the jail.
Oh,
yeah.
is this not the town watch?
No, this
No,
is
this is the militia fort.
You're in the militia
Mr.
fort.
Ford.
Oh shoot! I've been looking at the wrong place.
Yes. So we're in the the southern corner.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay. In which case,
You get me a turn around.
say, well, we've gone and done what we need to. We've gone and talked to the militia so they know we're here. But we need to go to the jail. We need to go to the jail.
Well, my thought was that they've got no commanding officer, and I've just convinced them to let us into his office, so we can try and figure out where he disappeared.
That's a good point.
Okay, so you what are you going to do about the guy behind you? Just going to ignore him, or
Yeah, I'm just going to ignore him.
Yeah.
How
I'm
about
going to turn back to it, put a hand on his shoulder, and just give it a gentle squeeze, and go, "You're obviously celebrating, and
I think
commanding officer can be very, very strict at times. But
roll me a persuasion check.
sounds like you've got a victory to celebrate. Did it not, bro? Persuasion?
Yep. Okay. He's just like, okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Fine. He stumbles across, and you hear him going off to his mates, who are sort of slightly waking up and, talking about attacks and things like that, but he's out of your business for the time being.
Do any of the militia here look like the people who I saw last night?
Yeah, one of the guys, roll me a perception check.
Yeah, because one of them specifically talked about 19.
Yep. One of the guys in the corner who's sort of unconscious looks sort of similar to one of the guards that you saw last night.
I point him out to Thurjan and go, we need to talk to him about possible bandit camps in the area.
Right, okay.
Because he was there last night and he definitely said something. So...
Okay, so you go into the officers' effectively room. Again, there's a drunk, unconscious sort of militiaman with his sort of leaning over the commanding officer's sort of table. There's a few, there's wine spilt on the table, beer. It's a mess. You do notice there's some papers and things like that. So you have a look around. Do you want to roll me investigation then, I guess?
Okay.
Can I help?
Yeah, you can all do your thing.
No.
There we go.
Wow. Okay. So Mark.
3, really?
Durnian, he sort of, you all sort of don't really pick up on much. There's like I said, it's so much chaos around. You sort of kind of grasp that this was an officer's sort of tent, but Mark sort of notices that there are sort of papers on the table with sort of a commanding officer's stamp. The stamp is for Commander Josine Andre, and that there's not much else you can see on there, but you see a Josine Andre.
We just start a list of people who are missing. There's the innkeeper's wife, one of our men, TK, and this lad. I'm not going to leave any of them behind. I've lost too many men on the battlefield. I'm not losing these.
Okay, so you've basically got, that there is a guy called Josine Andre. He seems to be a militia captain that you can see from the effectively destroyed paperwork that's there. So yeah, what's next?
I would.
Do you mind if we call it there?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Sorry, guys.
That's cool.
No,
That's no problem.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
time.
You know what's good? In 2 sessions, you got to the same place as the other group did in 1, and they're not asking half the questions you are and stuff. So. But yes, that's it. Thank you very much. Yes,
fantastic. That was amazing.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying it.
I like a good mystery and investigation.
Yeah, I'm having to
so.
sort of ad lib a bit because you're asking questions that I didn't even think would sort of happen.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So
I haven't noticed that it's ad libbed at all.
Yeah,
it's really, really
it
good.
feels very scripted.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm glad. Okay, cool. Yes, okay, so thank you everybody who was watching. Apologies for the slight disconnect at the start. I will hopefully get an upload of it all together at some point soon. But yes, thank you very much.
This is not a one-shot. This is turning into a series.
Yeah, it is. We are session 3 next week. Looking forward to it. Yeah. So thanks very much, guys, and see you later.